This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, today we're going to build your own AI chatbot with ChatGPT API. In the internet, if you see search anywhere, you'll get some buzzwords called ChatGPT. ChatGPT abbreviation is Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now, we in the chat GPT, you can see various models like DaVinci Code models and then Whisper models, and then the recent trend, like 2 days back, they introduced a model called GPT 3.5 Turbo Model. Before going to this GPT 3.5 Turbo Model, I'm going to say what's the need of GPT. Everyone knows GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's one of the application of a large language model. The models are fed massive amount of text and data on the internet, which they use to predict the most likely sequence of words in response to a prompt. And then the language model, actually the chat gpt using the language model, it forms a backbone of NLP. It's nothing but a natural language processing. There are ways of transforming qualitative information about text into quantitative information that machine can able to understand. In the many of technologies, they are using the languages models. Chat GPT language model. Third, they are I can say finance, and then technical departments and military departments and healthcare departments. They are using this language model. Now this chat gpt is very popular from 2022 November month. Recently, like 4 days back, I can say like March 2, they introduced one model called GPT 3.5 Turbo Model. There are still various language models available like DaVinci Code model, Whisper model available. This GPT 3.0 model has various advantages. Now we're going to see about the what is the future involved in the GPT 3.5 Turbo Model. Okay, now this model is a boon for the developers. Okay, the developers can use third-party applications to integrate their chat GPTs, their application service they can integrate, the developers can able to, as well as it's one of the new model family called 3.5 version Turbo. It's one of the best model for many of the non-chat use cases. Many of the non-chat use cases. It's not if some other use cases can build, only mostly used for the non-chat use cases. And then the features involved in the turbo model is they are offering 1,000 tokens means each word will be a token. For 1,000 tokens they are charging the dollar of $0.002. It's going to be 10 times cheaper than the ChatGPT 3.5 model. When compared to ChatGPT 3.5 model, ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo model is very cheaper price, because for 1,000 tokens means each word will be a token. You can send 1,000 words as input. For 1,000 words, in the sense the tokens, you can get the response. Okay, the cost wise very cheaper. And then next thing is, nowadays developers are started using this turbo model because very faster and more accurate, and it's a lightweight model when compared to chat gpt 3.5. This turbo model has various features and it's accurate as well faster. And then it's one of surprising model for the technology peoples. Okay, for the developers, they can integrate this turbo model with their own chatbots. That's the beauty in this ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo model. Okay, you can create your own chatbots, and then you can use this model. The model name is called ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo Model. When compared to 3.5 model, it's very fast, it's more accurate, as well it's very lightweight model. And then you can feed your input, text input, and then you can get the corresponding text predictions from the model. As well as in the turbo model, I'm going to send 4 characters, approximately 4 characters. For that 4 characters, I'm going to get the proper response through the API. The open API has introduced one ChatGPT API. From the API, you'll get some response. It will send 4 characters. For every 4 characters, I'll get the responses. Now, today's session, we're going to see how to build our own chatbot using ChatGPT API with the help of ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo Model. Now, I want to create a user interface for my chatbot. For creating a user interface, I have used Gradio. Using Gradio, it's one of the module. Okay, we can use it in Python. This best module for creating your user interfaces. For demo purposes, you can use this Gradio, mostly used in machine learning models and APIs for data science flow. In order to give some beautiful interactive applications, you can use this Gradio module. And then you can create some interactive forms like text boxes, checkbox, and radio buttons, and then response like a text box response. There will be a number of features available. Using this Gradio application, you're going to create your user interfaces. The prerequisite for Gradio will be you should have Python 3.0 or higher version. Now let's deep dive into the demo session, how to build your own chatbot using ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo Model. Okay, now the first step you have to do is, I have a piece of code here. Before that, the prerequisite will be, first you have to upgrade your package manager. You have to upgrade your package manager. That's the use of pip is a package manager. I want to upgrade the pip. First, open your command prompt, type cmd. In the cmd, we execute this first command. Now, already in my laptop, I have installed the Python version. You can see the Python version is 3.11.1. For Gradio, the minimum version should use 3.7, higher can use. But I have my laptop, I use 3.11. I'm going to upgrade my package manager. Because something my package manager, I'm going to upgrade the package manager. Just execute this command because it's already up to date. Okay, the pip version is now 23.0.1. Now the next step, what we have to do, using the ChatGPT API, I'm going to send the request in terms of messages. For that messages, I'm going to get some response. Okay, the ChatGPT was built by openai community. This openai is giving our free API for us. For that, we have to install the openai module. Okay, now it started installing. Some of the modules are already installed. Okay, that's why it's showing requirement already satisfied. If you are newly installing this module, it will start. It will take like nearly 30 to 40 seconds. And then for creating user interfaces, you have to use this module called Gradio module. Okay, it's only for building a powerful user interface, only for demo purposes. For machine learning applications as well as for data science flows, you can use this Gradio. Now you have to install this module. After that, okay, what I'm going to do, the openai.com, you have to log in. You have to create the API key first. First step, you have to create the API key. What you have to do, just go to the browser and use the open platform.openai.com.sign up. Here you have to provide your mail ID. My mail ID is pythons v75@gmail.com, and then you have to provide the, sorry, if you are a new user, you have to sign up. Already I'm an existing user. Directly can you go for login. I want to provide my mail address and then click on continue. In that I will provide a password. After providing the password, it's going to give you a dashboard of the OpenAI. In that you can see there are various applications. You can see text completion, speech to text applications you're going to see. But using this OpenAI platform openai.com, I'm going to generate my API key. Just click on the personal. In that you can see the view API keys. In that API key session, you have the create new secret key. Click on this key. It's going to give your API key for you. Just copy the key and paste it in your notepad. Paste it in your notepad. Now I want to build one Python application. Okay, in that Python application, I have to use this API key. Okay, now I have a separate application. In that I have used two modules. One is OpenAI module. Through OpenAPI only, I can interact the ChatGPT. Okay, I'll whatever message I'm sending as an input, for that message I'll get the proper response. It can be a question answering pattern. Okay, it can be a kind of any queries. You can go and pass the input through the OpenAI. For OpenAI, you should pass the API key. What you have to do, whatever API key you have generated, you have to copy this key and paste it in the API key session. Paste it in the API key session. Now I have written a method. In the method, what I did, right? Method name is I created chatbot. I'm going to pass some text messages. Okay, or I can say queries. That message, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass to my messages. Message is going to be it's going to be a dictionaries actually. I'm going to pass my input. Okay, what are the input I'm asking query? I can going to pass the input, and then the role I kept as user, because I'm the user, right? I'm going to feed some inputs to my. I'm going to feed some inputs to my model. That's why I keep the role as user role. And then you are using the open API model in the chat completion. You're going to use a create. The model I'm going to use GPT 3.5 Turbo Model. March 2, it has recently introduced in the market. Now we're going to use a model. It's a pre-trained model actually. Okay, you no need to train this model. Already it's trained by the OpenAI community. You can use this GPT 3.5 Turbo model. It's very fast when compared to the ChatGPT model, as well as what are messages, what are the inputs you're passing, right? That will be appended in the messages, and then you are passing your message to this model. Now, what will happen? What are messages passing, right? You some queries are passing, right? That's going to pass to your model, and the model is going to get your inputs and going to convert in tokens. For each 4 characters, it's going to generate the response. It's going to generate a response. Finally, going to get the responses like chat. Though it's going to give you some kind of array. In that, the first array position will be 0. From that, you're going to extract the message. From the message, you're going to extract the content. Okay. After that, you just going to reply. If you call this method, it's going to reply the message. And then I have the in the my interactive session, in my chatbot session, I'm going to have the two text boxes, one for providing the query, one for getting the results. That's why I kept the role as assistant role. In the response session, I want to provide the role called assistant role, and then what are reply getting right from the model response. That response I'm going to give in the key will be content. The response what I'm getting, I'm going to append over here, and finally it's going to give the responses. And then 23rd line, I want to generate my user interfaces. I want to get text box, input text box and output text box. From gradio module, what I can do, I'm going to pass some inputs, right? Gradio, gr means gradio. Gr means gradio, gr dot input dot text box. In the text box, I can pass 7 lines, and then the label for text box I'm going to give chat with AI, and then the response I'm going to get, right? When I pass some inputs, I'm going to get some response. For response, I want to create one more text box, gr.outputs.text box, and the label for text box I'm going to give is a reply. Final step is from the gradio, I'm going to create I'm going to create the interface, user interface, gr.interface, and then function. What function I have? Chatbot function. From the chatbot function, you're going to pass some input. The input is going to fit into the model, and the model is going to give the proper response as a reply. Okay, that function you have to pass, and then inputs. Inputs means a text box. You're going to type something, right? The text box you have to pass. Outputs, you're going to get a response. The output you have to pass, and then title of this bot will be AI Chatbot. AI Chatbot. Otherwise, I can give like I can give my technology name, Cloudflare AI Chatbot, and then description. Ask anything you want in Cloudflare Technology Chatbot. In Cloudflare Technologies, or in Cloudflare Chatbot. In Cloudflare Chatbot description. Theme you can give like compact. You can give light theme or compact theme or dark theme, anything kind of theme for user interface. And then if you use a launch method, what will happen? It's going to give you a beautiful user interfaces. I'm going to share the user interface to my the local host as well as to my OpenAI. It's going to give you a live API for you. Anyone can use up to 72 hours. Anyone can use this live API. User interface. Anyone can use up to 72 hours. They can use. This is the actual code. What I have to do, I want to save this file. I'm going to save in my AI folder. The file I'm going to keep it as app.save type as I'm going to keep Python file. It's going to save in the form of py. Now I can show the folder. In the AI folder, I have one application called app. Okay, now copy this location. Just go to your command prompt. Now change to this corresponding directory. Use with the help of what command? cd command. And then for executing the Python file, I want to use Python app.py. If you run this command, it will give some warning messages. Don't consider as of now because the theme is not supported. Now we are deployed our chatbot in the local URL, okay, as well as in the public URL. If you want to see your user interface, this link will expire after 72 hours. After 72 hours. Okay. Now it's a public URL. Anyone can use this live URL as well as it's going to give a local URL. Now I'm going to copy this public URL. I'm going to open my browser, new browser. In the new browser, I'm going to hit this URL. Now you can able to see my own chatbot. The chatbot is Cloudflare AI Chatbot, and then whatever query you're going to provide in the chat AI text box, it's going to interact the chat GPT API. From through API going to get response. That response will be reflected in the reply session. Now I'm going to give some query. uh, Write a blog post. Write a blog post for chat GPT in 500 words. In 500 words, just give some question mark and then you submit. This input, what happened? Why it's getting error? Okay, I am getting error right now. Yeah, I copied the API key, right? Why is it getting the error?
This conference will now be recorded.
Now, uh, see, I'm going to give some query. I'm asking what is ChatGPT, ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, and then send the request to the model. Now it's at all time was 3.8 seconds. It's exceeded. See, I'm not sorry, but I'm familiar with the ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo. It's referring to the GPT-3 Generative Pre-trained Transform 3, which is advanced artificial language model developed by OpenAI. This is what it's giving the response. Now I have created a own AI chatbot for my organization, Cloudflare AI Chatbot. Like this way, you can able to create your own chatbots using the model of ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo. You can ask for any kind of queries that is going to give the response in 3.8 seconds maximum. Okay, now you can build your own chatbots. Okay, I'm signing right now.